If you're going through divorce and working through your settlement options, number one, you want to make sure that everything's fair and that you're getting your fair share of the assets. But in addition to being fair in terms of the percent of the assets that you're getting, you also want to be mindful of tax considerations. Today is the third video in our three-part series on various settlement options in divorce. The third thing that we're going to talk about is real estate, particularly your primary home. A lot of times in divorce, selling the house is an option, or one of the spouses keeping the house is an option. With this decision, you're going to want to think through what you purchased the house at and what it is worth today. Particularly with the appreciation in the real estate market over recent years across the country, it can be a pretty big gain that you're looking at if you decide to sell the house. This is important because if you and your spouse together before divorce decide to sell the house, you each have a $250,000 tax deduction that you can take above and beyond the initial purchase price in terms of gain on the house. So if you bought a house for $500,000, it's now worth $1 million. Your spouse can deduct $250,000, you can deduct $250,000. You basically don't pay any gains on the sale of that $1 million house. But in that same scenario, if you and your spouse were to have the house for $500,000, you divorce, you decide to sell the house a year later, well, now you can only deduct $250,000 in addition to the $500,000 initial purchase price from the total $1 million sale value. And so now you're going to be paying taxes on $250,000 of that gain. In terms of timing of selling the house, if it's something that you think you're ultimately going to do anyway, it may make more sense to sell it prior to the divorce as a married couple. Each take your tax deduction and move on without having a big tax bill